Let's start with a spicy fact. Back in medieval Europe, nutmeg was so valuable that it was literally worth more than its weight in gold. Imagine a world where a pinch of spice could change your fortune overnight. A small bag of nutmeg could buy you a house, or even secure your family's future, all because it came from the remote and mysterious Banda Islands in Indonesia, a place most Europeans could only dream of. This little nut reveals a big truth. The medieval world was far more connected than we often imagine. Spices like nutmeg traveled thousands of miles, crossing oceans and continents, linking distant cultures together. People risked everything: pirates, shipwrecks, and deadly diseases, just to make their food taste better, or to gain a little prestige at the dinner table. The spice trade was a high-stakes game, and the risks were real. The Middle Ages weren't just castles and mud, they were alive with movement, ambition, and constant exchange. Markets buzzed with traders, travelers, and new ideas from far-off lands. Vast networks linked Africa, Europe, and Asia, moving not just luxury goods but also revolutionary ideas, new technologies, and yes, even deadly diseases that would change history. These connections only grew stronger after the rise of the Islamic and Mongol empires, which opened up new routes and made the world feel smaller, even as it grew more complex. Picture a world where a Venetian merchant could sell Chinese porcelain, financed by a banker in Cairo, and shipped across the seas on sturdy Indian teakwood vessels. The global economy was already taking shape. While kings and armies clashed, it was merchants, missionaries, and scholars who quietly crossed borders, weaving the world together with every journey and every deal. A fashion trend could start in Persia, travel to Spain, and be paid for with German silver, proof that even in the Middle Ages, style and commerce knew no boundaries. Medieval global exchange was wild, complicated, and deeply human, a story of ambition, risk, and the endless search for something new. So what do we mean by global exchange in the Middle Ages? It wasn't the whole planet, just the interconnected landmass of Africa, Europe, and Asia. This was the known world, vast and full of opportunity. Trade worked through interlocking circuits: gold and ivory from East Africa, cotton from India, silk from China, all passing through many hands. No one controlled the whole chain. It thrived because everyone profited. It wasn't just luxury goods. Timber, grain, salt, and textiles moved constantly. Knowledge traveled too. Papermaking from China revolutionized information in the Islamic world and Europe. None of this happened alone. Merchants, sailors, camel drivers, translators, and guides all played a part. Nomads connected civilizations across deserts and steppes. Governments taxed trade and built infrastructure like ports and caravanserais to keep goods moving. It was a massive, decentralized collaboration. Everyone was in it for the profit and the possibilities. Trade needed roads, real and metaphorical. For thousands of years, these routes were the arteries of civilization, carrying not just goods, but the hopes and ambitions of entire societies. The Silk Road wasn't a single path, but a vast web of routes linking China to the Mediterranean. It wound through deserts, mountains, and cities, connecting distant empires and cultures in a network that spanned continents. Cities like Samarkand and Baghdad became vibrant crossroads of commerce and culture, where traders, scholars, and travelers mingled, exchanging not only goods but also stories, technologies, and beliefs. Merchants rarely traveled the whole way. Instead, goods moved in a relay, changing hands many times and growing pricier at each stop. Each transaction added a new layer of value and story to the items being traded. The Indian Ocean was the other great highway, cheaper, faster, and able to move bulk goods like spices, textiles, and precious stones across vast distances. This maritime network connected East Africa, Arabia, India, Southeast Asia, and China, creating a vibrant corridor of exchange that shaped the cultures and economies of every port it touched. Sailors mastered the monsoon winds, making round-trip voyages predictable. Their knowledge of the seas and weather patterns was passed down through generations, turning the ocean into a reliable highway. Port cities like Calicut, Malacca, and Kilwa buzzed with diversity. Dozens of languages, faiths, and faces mingled in the markets, creating melting pots of ideas and innovation. Unlike the Silk Road, the Indian Ocean was self-governing, run by merchants of many cultures. There were no empires controlling the seas, just networks of trust and cooperation. Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and Jews cooperated, united by commerce. Their shared interests often overcame differences, fostering peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. Trust, contracts, and shared interests kept the system running. Agreements were honored, and reputations mattered more than borders or flags. These superhighways moved more than goods. They moved people and ideas. Art, science, and religion all traveled these routes, transforming societies along the way. The world was stitched together by trade, its threads woven by countless hands across continents and oceans, shaping the course of history. Trade routes weren't just for goods, they were highways for ideas. Religions traveled. Buddhism spread from India to China. Islam moved from Arabia to West Africa and Indonesia. Conversion often followed trade, not conquest. Technology hitched a ride to paper, the compass, and gunpowder from China. Numerals from India via the Arab world. These innovations transformed everything from navigation to mathematics. Art, music, and stories also traveled. Tales from 1001 Nights crossed continents. Instruments like the lute journeyed from the Middle East to Europe. Artistic styles blended, Chinese dragons on Persian pottery, for example. The world became richer and more complex through this cultural fusion. People traded not just goods but ways of seeing the world. To understand this interconnected world, meet its greatest travelers. Marco Polo, a Venetian, journeyed to China under the Mongol Empire, staying for 17 years. He described wonders, coal, postal systems, and cities like Hangzhou that amazed Europe. His book inspired generations, including Columbus. But Ibn Battuta, a Moroccan scholar, traveled even farther, 75,000 miles over 29 years. He visited North and West Africa, the Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, and China. As a respected scholar, he was welcomed everywhere, offering a unique view of the Muslim world. His account, the Rihla, details societies, foods, and customs across continents. Ibn Battuta's journey shows that for many, the medieval world was a single, sprawling civilization. Faith and commerce connected people across thousands of miles. Global exchange didn't just enrich kings, it transformed the lives of ordinary people in ways we still feel today. The things we eat, the clothes we wear, and even the words we speak are all shaped by centuries of trade and cultural contact. Sugar from India and Southeast Asia became Europe's white gold, revolutionizing not just desserts but also medicine and daily rituals. Suddenly, sweet treats and remedies became part of everyday life for those who could afford them. Spices like pepper and cinnamon were more than just flavorings. They were status symbols, coveted by the wealthy and powerful. Displaying exotic spices at a feast was a way to show off wealth, worldliness, and far-reaching connections. Citrus fruits, once rare and precious, traveled from Southeast Asia to Spain, forever changing Mediterranean cuisine and adding new flavors to the European palate. Rice, too, made its journey from India through the Middle East and into Europe, becoming a staple in kitchens far from its origins. Even medieval fashion was global. Silk from China shimmered in the wardrobes of the elite, while cotton from India and Egypt brought comfort and versatility to clothing across continents. Patterns like paisley, originating in Persia, became fashionable motifs, spreading through trade and inspiring new styles. What you wore was a statement of your place in the world network. Language, too, evolved with every new connection. English borrowed words like algebra, alcohol, and bazaar from Arabic and Persian, reflecting the flow of ideas as well as goods. Even everyday words like orange and sugar traveled alongside the goods they described, carried by merchants and sailors. Our vocabulary is a living record of centuries of exchange, a testament to how interconnected our world has always been. The food on your plate and the words you speak are legacies of medieval trade, shaped by journeys across continents and oceans. The world on your dinner table is a product of ancient connections, a daily reminder of how global our lives have always been. Globalization started long before the internet, its roots run deep, shaping our world in ways both visible and hidden. Medieval exchange brought prosperity, innovation, and creativity. Trading hubs like Venice and Cairo flourished. Technologies like the compass and paper changed the world. The Islamic Golden Age thrived on knowledge from Greece, India, and Persia. But the same networks that brought wealth also spread disaster. The Black Death, carried by fleas on merchant ships, killed up to 60% of Europe's population. This was only possible because the world was so connected. Connection brought shared prosperity and shared vulnerability. Today our world is even more interconnected. We enjoy economic growth and cultural exchange, but also face global risks, financial crises, pandemics, climate change. The challenges we face are the modern Black Deaths traveling new trade routes. Understanding medieval globalization reminds us, connection is a double-edged sword. The past is never really past. It's the foundation of our present. That's why this history matters.